also picked a queen for our celebration. All the disc jockeys sent in entries, and the committee picked a young lady from Corning, Iowa, to reign as our queen. Jack Mills was the disc jockey who sent in the picture of this blonde, blue-eyed young lady. We told Jack that on the broadcast, he would introduce her to our coast-to-coast mutual audience.
Thank you very much, Ray Starr, and it certainly is a place to introduce one of our own Southwest Iowa gals. We're real proud of the little blonde-headed, blue-eyed gal, and we know that you people around the world will be too as our Glenn Miller Queen, as selected by our disc jockeys for the state of Iowa. None other than Miss Carolyn Harrison. Here she is. Carolyn, it's been a real great day in your life, hasn't it?
I can't tell you.
Carolyn, I'd like for you to tell the folks all around the nation that are listening to our mutual broadcast right now exactly what you thought along about last Saturday night, along about 5:20 p.m. What happened when you received a long-distance telephone call from yours truly?
Well, I slightly thought someone was playing a joke. Someone keeps calling me, one of the few guys.
One of the few guys. I like that. Well, Carolyn, at that time I had the pleasure of calling you and say, Carolyn, my dear, you happen to be our choice of the disc jockeys of Iowa and the Clarinda Chamber of Commerce to reign as queen from we disc jockeys here in the state of Iowa as our queen. And Carolyn, we're very, very, very proud of you, and we hope that you've enjoyed all of the day here at Glenn Miller Observance here in Clarinda every bit as much as we. I'm sure that you have.
Thank you. I very much have.
I'm sure that you have. Don't you think she's very lovely, ladies and gentlemen? You know, Carolyn, just a little bit ago backstage here at the theater, you were telling me about a very lovely young lady that you had the pleasure of talking with all day today. Yes. I'd like to meet her.
Yes, she is. She's the Clarinda local queen. She's Miss Donna Evans. I've been very fortunate today to meet her personally, and I'd like to have you meet her now, please.
I'd be very happy to. Donna, we're very, very happy for you, and I can speak from Ray Starr and all the disc jockeys here in the state of Iowa, and I speak for all of them saying that we are just truly as happy of you as the Clarinda Queen as we of our own Miss Carolyn Harrison.
Oh,
and we welcome you to our fold, Donna.
Thank you.
We're really very proud of you. And Donna, have you enjoyed all of the Glenn Miller Day observance here in Clarinda?
Well, I certainly have, and they couldn't have given me anything any nicer.
We think you're very deserving. Don't you think so?
Ray Starr? There you are, sir. Next, picking up an issue of Downbeat magazine, our committee found that Jack Tracy, the editor of Downbeat, had confirmed his readers' votes and that Glenn Miller was elected to the Downbeat Hall of Fame. So we contacted Glenn's mother and Jack Tracy for a part of Glenn Miller Day in Clarinda, Iowa.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. For nearly 20 years, the readers of Downbeat magazine, in an annual poll, have been selecting the orchestras, singers, and instrumentalists who are considered tops in their field. Last year, we added a new category to the poll, the Music Hall of Fame. It corresponds roughly to the Baseball Hall of Fame, in that each year, our readers are asked to name the one person who has contributed the most to music in America in the last 100 years. It's with a great deal of pride for me to announce that in 1953, the second person to enter the Music Hall of Fame is Glenn Miller. Mrs. Miller, on behalf of the readers of Downbeat magazine, I'd like to present you with this plaque, which reads, to Glenn Miller, named second member of the Music Hall of Fame by the readers of Downbeat magazine, 1953.
Thank you so much. I have read Downbeat quite a bit, and it had many nice things about my son, which I did it so much this week, and I surely appreciate this gift tonight.
Then we were just about ready for Glenn Miller Week in the state of Iowa. And of course, all of our disc jockeys met in convention. As we talked over the plans for Clarinda, Iowa, with all of the men currently you have heard on our broadcast tonight.
Say, I was just thinking, Ray, have you seen that new issue of Look magazine or heard about it?
The current issue, Jack? No, I haven't.
Absolutely, Ray Star. That's what I mean, the current issue of Look magazine.
What's in it?
Oh, hadn't you better look?
Well, I think I better.
Naturally, Look magazine.
Well, gee whiz. Look at this, fellas. Here is Glenn Miller's story, a big review on it, in the current issue of Look magazine. Say, I want to show this to Jimmy. Jimmy Stewart. Well, he should be around someplace. Here he comes. Jimmy, the disc jockeys of Iowa, all 80 of us, feel there couldn't have been anybody better picked to play the part of Glenn Miller than one Mr. James Stewart.
Well, thank you, Ray.
And I know the people who see the Glenn Miller story, in Technicolor, incidentally, with you and June Allison, produced by Universal International, are going to agree with us. And we would like to go on record now as a body as saying if this Glenn Miller story doesn't win an award, we certainly are going to miss our bet, because we feel it's one of the finest things that's ever been done for the music business, and especially for Clorinda's son, Glenn Miller.
Well, we'll soon know. We've been, there's been a lot of speeches here and everything, but we won't know until this curtain goes down and the movie starts. And I suppose these people out here are getting a little anxious to see it.
Jimmy,
and I hope they like it.
I'd like to ask you, before our coast-to-coast audience, what do you think was your greatest help in portraying the characterization of Glenn Miller in the picture?
Well, I think Helen Miller was Glenn's wife. She was more than a help. She was sort of an inspiration and a sort of a guiding hand through the whole thing. It made it more than just a movie role. It made it something to put down for the book. We hope we've done it. As I say, we won't know until we find out what you people out there think about it.
Jimmy, you've been here practically 24 hours in the state of Iowa now. Would you like to look back and reflect on it a bit?
Yes, we've had a wonderful time. It's almost hard to put it in words exactly how we feel. I tried to say a little bit of it down at the Armory, the Glenn Miller Armory that was dedicated this afternoon down in Clorinda. But it's just given us all a very warm feeling to come into a community that is so friendly and that there's so much community spirit, and to find that there are people at the head of the community and the Chamber of Commerce and the business people who will get behind something like this, that they feel is for the good of the community and do such a beautiful job. And as I said down at the Armory, we certainly appreciate your kindness and your hospitality and generosity. And bless your heart.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ray.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Jimmy Stewart.
And that is the story of Glenn Miller Week in the state of Iowa and Glenn Miller Day in Glenn's hometown of Clorinda. We hope that the next Glenn Miller Week will be national instead of statewide. On behalf of the disc jockeys of Iowa, we pledge to preserve the music and the memories of Glenn Miller. Thank you for listening, and good night. And thank you, Ray Starr. You've been listening to a salute to Glenn Miller, produced and transcribed for the Mutual Network by the disc jockeys of the state of Iowa, home state of Glenn Miller. The music on our program tonight was from the soundtrack of Universal International's The Glenn Miller Story on Decca Records and was heard for the first time coast to coast. This program originated in Hollywood, New York, Waterloo, and Clorinda, Iowa. Written and produced by Ray Starr, this is Bill Gamar of KFNF in Shenandoah, bringing you to a close this salute to Glenn Miller. And that ends our salute. But Glenn's music will go on forever.
This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.